Hi everybody, Faye here for the healthy tip of the week, which is about dented cans. No, really, this is a healthy tip. I know I've got glasses on today, my contacts, they kind of are at their expiration, and I'm waiting to get my new ones. So glasses it is, and I've got my green tea because I am about to go to work today. Anyway, the healthy tip of the week is about dented cans and why you should possibly avoid them. And if you decide to pick a dented can to purchase, how you can make sure that it is still safe to have and eat the food out of. I've went to several different websites like the FDA, the USDA. The USDA has a history of canned foods and how it all first started, and I believe it first started in France. You can look up more about this, but it's kind of an interesting history. He offered 12,000 French francs, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, to anyone who could figure out how to keep the military supply of food from spoiling, which is how everything got started with the canning industry. It was a slow process, but it was really awesome. At Natural Grocers, where I work, they take all of the dented cans, no matter how dented it is, and they donate them, even if it's a little dented, which is cool because it does help the community. However, if your can has a big dent in it, you need to be worried because there's a chance that there are little holes where the dent is and bacteria can get in there, air can get in there, which makes it unsafe. I always thought, it's dented. Well, it looks fine. There's a chance that it's not fine, and the best way to avoid that bacteria growth is to make sure you check the can. Obviously, if it's bloated. Bloated meaning, I don't know, if you were to take a bag and blow it up with air, that's bloated. You know how bloated feels, that's how it looks. I know that frozen cans, why would you freeze it? Well, maybe you left it in your basement and it gets really cold down there. Frozen cans are supposedly safe to eat the food from, but if they've been refrozen a couple times, not so much. And you're supposed to defrost them in the fridge. I personally feel that if you freeze aluminum, there might be a chemical process that happens between the food and the can, and it's probably going to leak some chemicals into your food. I know they don't mention it on the website, but really common sense tells me that if heat causes chemicals to leach from your plastic bottles into your water, then cold might very well do the same, especially with tin cans, aluminum cans, coated cans, whatever they do with their cans. We already have issues with BPA in cans, which I will mention in another video what BPA is. It's some chemical they use to coat cans that actually disrupts your hormones, and it's completely unsafe, and they still put it on the cans anyway. But if something were to leak from the can into your food, I would feel really bad if I didn't tell you about this. So back to the dented cans, which is my main concern today. Anything that's severely dented is possibly really bad. Apparently, even canning at all can result in a botulism. I think it's Clostridium botulism. I'll type the word over here. Anyway, it's basically the word for botulism. It lives in improperly processed foods that have been canned, and they can survive in oxygenless environments even if they have been boiled, which is unsafe. It's a really, really, really rare illness, supposedly. I haven't met anybody who's had it. And it affects your nervous system, and it basically leads to paralysis, literally, of your nervous system. So that means including your lungs, and as soon as everything is paralyzed, you suffocate and die. It's terrible. So, something to look out for. Maybe you just shouldn't buy canned foods unless you're completely sure. I'm sure most of them have been processed properly, but the dented ones can have more of a bacterial problem due to the fact that they can get holes. So if you're going to buy canned food, this is what I've read you can do, and I think it's kind of awesome that there's a list out there. I think more people should know about it. Don't ever buy anything that's bulging, or even if you're going to go to a food bank, don't pick up a can that is bulging, because that means there's bad stuff in it. Don't buy a can that's dented along the top or the sides. I think that's basically the whole can, because bacteria can get into the can and you may not know it yet, but it could have it in there. Obviously, if it's rusty, go tell somebody, give it to them. Don't purchase it. Especially look between your home canning if you do that and commercial canning. Always check to see if it's moldy, discolored, smells funny, and don't try to test it. Don't go tasting it if it has any of those problems. And last but not least, this should be really obvious. Don't use products that spurt liquid when opened or foam when opened, which that seems really silly, but common sense is really lacking these days, and I want all of you to share your knowledge with everybody else just in case somebody is tired or has had a busy day or long week, or they're just busy. Share your knowledge with them so that they're thinking about these things when they're at home getting ready to make dinner, lunch, breakfast for their family. And that way everybody can stay nice and healthy, have no emergency room trips, and live their life to the fullest. Thank you for joining me for the Healthy Tip of the Week. I love that you came and visited to watch my video. Don't forget to subscribe down below, like the video if you want to see more, and I will see you again next time. Bye!